Black support for Democrats is slipping. What will that mean for the midterm elections? Now, a lot of my folk, a lot of my black people are finally waking up that the Democrats really don't have their best interests at heart. They're just they don't they because we vote for them 90% of the time, so they really don't have any incentive to do anything for their vote because they're gonna get it automatically. And then a lot of people are finally waking up to that, and they're finally waking up to the fact that the Democrats are the problems of are the problem and causing most of the issues in the black community. I'm hoping more wake up, but they're starting to one by one, and I mean this is exciting to see. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram, JJ the Psychotherapist, where I put out tons of news throughout the day that'll keep you informed. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. There are signs that black Americans are slowly moving away from the Democratic Party. While this shift is far less dramatic than the huge numbers of Hispanic Americans who have abandoned the party, it's happening nonetheless. This dynamic bears close attention as the November midterm elections beckon. Um, we've seen repeatedly in close elections, even a 1% to 2% shift in support can mean the difference between victory and defeat. The Real Clear Politics average of polls for the generic congressional vote, which asks participants which party candidate they will vote for if the election were held today, currently favors Republicans by 0.9%. The final RCP average ahead of the 2020 election favored Democrats by 6.8%. Aside from a tie in the October 2019 poll, Republicans lagged in every poll included in RCP's generic vote data. On Friday, Rasmussen, a right-leaning pollster, reported that 66% of black respondents said that they would vote for a Democratic candidate and 21% for a Republican. A decidedly more left-leaning poll from Politico Morning Consult released on October 3rd found that 74% of black voters surveyed said they would prefer a Democratic candidate, while 14% would choose a Republican. For the sake of argument, let's go with the more liberal results. Just 74% of black people would support a Democratic candidate today, yet 2 years ago, it was 92% of black people, cast their ballot for Joe Biden. That is crazy. And what do we get for that, though? But I'm digressing. But likewise, 14% of black people would vote for a Republican, but only 8% voted for Trump in 2020. This does not translate into a point-for-point decline because Biden is not on the ballot. It does, however, show a distinct directional shift in voter sentiment. A Washington Post LPSOS poll released in May found that although the majority of black voters still support Democrats, the margin has fallen. The poll asked black voters if they thought Biden was sympathetic to their needs, although 66% say yes, which is ridiculous to me. The number 2 years ago had been 74%. The poll also found that Biden's job approval was falling to the fastest among young black Americans. Amen to that. For those aged 18 to 39, it had dropped to 60%, and among those aged 40 to 64% to 74%. But a whopping 86% of black voters aged 65 and older still approve of his job performance. And that's because, to be honest with you, 65 and over, you're probably not on social media reading alternative news. You're listening to what's being said on CNN. You're listening to what's being said on MSNBC. You're not really looking at other news sources that doesn't have that left-leaning bend that will actually criticize the Democrats and will actually criticize President Biden. So I can understand why 65% of older black people is still going to still voting Democrat. The loss of support from this crucial voting bloc, while small, does not bode well for Democrats in the midterm election. Just as black voters made the critical difference in states like Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in 2020, the loss of even a small portion of those votes could be a game changer, particularly in a close race. As it was reported last week, barring any October surprises in the more predictable Senate races to win back control of the upper chamber, Republican candidates need to prevail in Ohio, Nevada, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, all states where they currently lead. Plus, they need to win one race in any of the following states: Georgia, which I don't see that happening; Pennsylvania, that's a toss up; Arizona, we're seeing that Arizona is starting to lean a little bit right now; in Washington or New Hampshire. And even a minor dip in black support for Democrats will help make that happen. But let me know what you think about all this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out debarcopublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace. Oh,